Is it possible in snooker to improve your basic cue ball control with just simple understanding? Well, if it is, here's how to do it. This is Break From Life. Welcome back, and if this is your first time watching one of our videos, then it's fantastic to have you here. To somebody who's just started playing the game, just potting the balls may seem complicated enough, without trying to control the cue ball in a way that will allow you to have even the smallest of breaks. But are you aware that with just a relatively basic potting ability, you could score a lot more than you would first think? To do this, you only need to be able to understand basic spin and positional play. If you just go to play a shot, you'll notice it does one of two things depending on how high and how hard you strike the cue ball. When you strike the cue ball exactly in the centre like this and play it slowly, it will roll through because the cue ball is rolling along the table. But what happens if you strike it a bit firmer? It just increases the amount the cue ball slides. You end up playing more of a stun shot. If I hadn't bought a cue ball that was way too big, then simply striking the cue ball right in the centre will cause it to stop exactly where it is. As you can see, I had to give it a little bit of help to do this. What happens then if you strike the cue ball above centre? It's almost guaranteed to roll along the table, and the higher you strike it, the more this will make the ball overspin. Striking the cue ball below centre is when you really start to change its direction. By stopping it, and the lower you strike it, the more likely it is to spin backwards. It's not all about where you hit the cue ball, and if you want to know more, there's a video in the card right now. Playing a shot with side spin can cause it to change direction on the table. This makes it very difficult to use accurately, but using it in exactly the right way does allow me to hit this red. It will also affect the way the cue ball comes off the cushion. Look at the two different ways a shot with left-hand side and a shot with right-hand side react when they strike the cushion, completely changing where they go. But how crucial is it to be really adept at playing all of these shots? Well, maybe less so than you might first think. I know a lot of club players who regularly beat people with far better cue actions than their own, simply because they have a better understanding of where to position the cue ball. And I think I can explain how to do this in these 7 upcoming steps. And if you don't believe me, try this. See what happens if you spread all 15 reds around the centre of the table and then try to pot all of them. You may think it's crucial here to see whether or not you can pot every single ball. But it's not. It's actually far more critical to see if you can maintain close position while doing this. And if you find you aren't able to do this, or can only do this by playing some difficult shot, then it's likely that some, if not all of the steps in this video may greatly benefit you. Because this isn't necessarily about making you a better player, it's about making the game simpler for you to play. However, to be able to take advantage of your cue ball control, you need to be competent and confident on consistently potting basic shots like these. If you think this is something you're struggling to do, then have a look at the previous videos in this series. They're in the card right now, because they really should be able to help you out with this. You can also find this on the Break From Life playlist page. It can really help you with the basics of a snooker technique, and while you're there, make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel. Because if you can play the basic shots well, then your ability to break build or not comes down to pure understanding. Rarely, when you really know what you're doing, will you ever have to play a shot with a lot of power or spin. And keeping things simple takes us nicely into step 1. This step is all about playing the simplest possible positional shot, even if it leaves you with a slightly harder pot. If you can get a cue ball to go anywhere you want to, you ideally want it to go here, but the problem with that is you've got to negotiate the side cushion, which means you're not guaranteed to get the cue ball here. Now, it may not go that wrong or even that wrong, but if you leave yourself slightly straight, you're going to have a harder shot to get onto the next red. So is there a way of playing this where you don't have to make the cue ball move at all and still be able to get on the black? Well, if you play it like this, then you're just going to have a natural shot to play the black off the top cushion and out for the red. It only makes the pot very slightly harder, but the position's guaranteed. So try and play the shot in the way that the cue ball has to move the least possible distance. Step 2, remember that it's a lot easier to stay in close position than it is to get there in the first place. And just because you pot a good long red, or your opponent makes a huge safety error, is no guarantee that you're going to have a good scoring opportunity. Even at a low level, if you're unlucky, you may only get a chance like this once per frame, and there's not a lot you can do about this. The only thing you can do is make the most of this chance when you get it. If you don't understand step 3, then you're going to have to be one of the best potters in the world to be able to play the game at even an average level. This is all about understanding where the cue ball goes when you just naturally pot the ball. Once you understand where the cue ball goes, you can work out how to manipulate it with a small amount of spin. And even simpler than this, if I work out where the cue ball needs to go on the previous red when I'm playing for the black, I can then pot the black with no spin at all, knowing that I'm going to be on the red. And then, using the same angle, I can do the same thing again. And as long as I keep working this out, then I can keep the break going, really just potting the ball at the right speed. When you're in position, this works on the majority of shots all over the table. Why do you think everybody spends so much time talking about getting to the right side of the blue? And it's because getting the right side of the blue makes it far easier to get to the next ball. And remember when I was saying about the differences between different types of club player earlier? It's very rare to find somebody who's naturally good at playing positional shots. And what happens when you're not confident at something? You start to doubt yourself. So when you're down on a shot, trying to play the yellow to leave the white here somewhere, you'll probably find that you'll be thinking, that's not hard enough, or that's too hard, or something along those lines, and then you go and overhit it. Once players stop worrying about how well the shot is going to go and just play it the way they think, with blind confidence, then they suddenly surprise themselves and discover they're a lot more competent at playing positional shots than they previously thought. It's easiest to explain around the pink spot because there are just so many options. You can pot the pink fairly comfortably into 4 different pockets, and all the reds around the pink can also go into the same 4 different pockets. For example, I could pop this red here and get onto the pink into the same pocket, into this middle pocket here, or even play down for the black. And when I'm on the pink here, I can potentially get onto every single red, with the exception of probably that one. And not only can I get onto every single red, with reds like this one, for example, I think I can get onto it in every single pocket. Is I can just screw back here and have it into this middle pocket here. I could play across here, leaving it into that middle pocket over there. By playing it off the side cushion, I'm leaving it into the same pocket as the pink. I can even bring the cue ball back a bit further and have the red into this pocket, though I haven't really got on it properly. Step 6 is all about accurately staying in close position for as long as you possibly can, having more of a straightforward pop, feeling less pressure of having to get it, not having so much to do and think about doing with the cue ball, as well as preventing your opponent from having any say in what goes on in the game, will all start to benefit your game exponentially. But, as I was explaining earlier, you sometimes only get a chance like this once per frame, so you've really got to make that opportunity count. And the way you make it count is by making sure you get the cue ball in exactly the right place, giving yourself exactly the right angles to play the simplest shots possible. You don't want to be running out of position at all if you can help it. You see, even if you just run out of position a tiny bit, that's going to put more pressure on the pot you've got to play. And if you're having to concentrate more on the ball you're potting, what effect do you think that's going to have on your positional shot? You're not going to be able to have so much focus on where the cue ball goes. This is the time of the game where you really have to concentrate the most. And if you do this, you'll find that your results start improving dramatically. And it's not necessarily because you can play any better, it's just simply that the game is now so much easier for you. And shots you would have found difficult or nearly impossible to play are now so much more straightforward, like this red down the cushion. You find you start being able to get on these reds, whereas before you couldn't. And it's when you start being able to link even the difficult shots into a break because you're on them perfectly, that other players start becoming a lot more frightened of you. Step 7 goes back to showing what I was explaining right at the beginning of the video. If you can get into a position like this, maybe for only 2 or 3 shots, where you've just got to play basic stun and run through shots to keep a break going, and you can link these together, then you are likely to really start improving. In fact, biggest area of improvement in your entire game. I explained exactly how to do this, but unfortunately it took nearly 10 minutes, and this video is already far too long. Snooker Break Building Tips is a walkthrough showing you this basic way to improve your break building, and if you want to know more about how to aim in snooker, then try our video Snooker How to Aim Basic. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel. See you later.